Last Friday at our stock talk, that's where our tribe gets together on a Zoom call a Friday after the market closes. Gabe asked me a question. He said, how could a company have a market cap that is lower than their book value? I said, Gabe, what stock are you talking about? He said, Zim. Well, I knew Zim. Zim is a shipping company. It moves goods from China to the United States, and it has grown over the years. In fact, I bought it when I saw it had a 24% dividend. I said, Gabe, I don't know why their stock would be, their book value would be greater than their stock value. And then I went to Seeking Alpha and I looked and I found an article declaring that Zim's dividend was now an 80% dividend. I said, how could that be? So I dug in and I figured it out. It's because China is collapsing. And the collapse of China is going to take our stock market into free fall. 2023 is going to be worse than 2022.
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Griegmeyer.
Zim is the ultimate canary in the coal mine. If you don't know what I'm speaking of, back in the old days of coal mining, the miners used to take a canary in a cage into the mine with them because the canary would inhale the gases that would kill the miners and die before it got to the miners. So as soon as they saw the canary die, they would grab their equipment and get out of the mine because it became deadly. Well, Zim is the canary in the coal mine. Actually, the real canary in the coal mine was the coronavirus. The fact that it could bring the whole nation down as a result of a virus that occurred in an animal market in Wuhan, China, showed us that we were over-dependent on China. But now we are seeing that Zim is paying an 80% dividend. Here's a look at the Seeking Alpha article, which you need to be a member of Seeking Alpha or you won't find things like this. And so as a result, I believe that we are seeing the start of the finish of China. How is that possible? Well, we built China, and I mean we built China over the last 40 years as we pumped money, as we bought goods, as we bought our TVs, our semiconductors, our socks, our shoes, anything and everything that we could out of China, and became dependent on it. And now that China has created problems that it can't handle, that is a currency that is worth nothing, a coronavirus that they can't stop, a drought that is killing their people as a result of their dependence on rice, a financial system that has collapsed, and a real estate system has collapsed, and our dependence on China is now falling apart. Zim is the canary in the coal mine. Look beyond Zim and you will see that Amazon has laid off 100,000 people. It has stopped the construction on 10 mega distribution centers, and it is shutting down 100 last mile centers. Why is this? Because China is collapsing. We've seen Nike move its manufacturing, make an attempt to move its manufacturing out of China into India. Why is that? Because China is collapsing. What is the far-reaching effect of China's collapse? The collapse of the United States markets. I told you that Amazon is laying people off. Well, because they can't get goods to ship. And they can't get goods to ship because Zim is unable to ship them. And what is the effect of that? Google is laying people off. And in fact, what they're doing is shutting down divisions in telling their employees, you've got 60 to 90 days to go find another job, either in Google or somewhere else. But your employment is coming to an end. What is the effect of that? Well, China is collapsing. And the fact is, they are receiving less advertising dollars. If Google is receiving less advertising dollars, so is Facebook. And I would ask you, if the price of food continues to go up because China is collapsing, and the price of fuel continues to go up because food and oil will become the weapons of war, what is the first thing you're not going to buy? Well, you aren't going to be able to buy a lot of stuff from Amazon, but I suspect you might cancel that new iPhone. And that will cripple Apple. And Apple is making an effort, recognizing that China is collapsing, that they are building. They have already started construction. They've built 2 plants in India, and they are starting the 3rd one. Why is that? Because China is collapsing. If China collapses, our stock market will collapse. There is no doubt about it, because we've been sucking on that China tit for 40 years, and we have become dependent on it. And that dependency is going to bring our stock market down. What we saw and have experienced, about a 20% drop, is just the first half of it. It may go beyond that. You must understand, as Amazon lays people off, as Google lays people off, that will ripple through the society. And unemployment will become a major problem. As unemployment becomes a major problem, that bleeds into our housing market. That means people can't make their mortgage payments. They can't pay their rent. That ripples through. How does our country resolve the problem? Well, more than likely, they'll decide they need to print more money. My contention is that was what caused the problem in the first place. As we came out of 2000, in 2000, we had a $4 trillion debt. It took us 200 years to get a $4 trillion debt. In 2020, we pumped in $9 trillion, and our debt is now $32 trillion. Why is that? Because China gave us the beans to feed our companies, to artificially inflate their values, and now China is collapsing. I know you don't want to hear that. You want to hear, how are we going to make money in the stock market? Short China? Short the S&P, go long India, but China is collapsing. Now, my contention is that there is one area that has no dependence whatsoever on China's collapse, which is inevitable, which is going to bring our stock market down, and that's biotech. That's our thirst, our hunger to take disease out of our body. We just saw Kahava Sciences stock go up 33% in one day because they have a pill that they believe and their founders believe and other people believe is going to be not a cure for our Alzheimer's, but a step forward to hold back Alzheimer's, to give cognitive ability back to people. Why is this so important? Because my generation, the baby boomers, are aging. Baby boomers have got everything they want from the day they were born, from the day when they stood up in the cereal aisle in the grocery store in 1952, or no, it was in 1949, and said, we don't want this crap. We want Fruit Loops. We want sugar on our cereal. We don't want to have to put sugar on our cereal. When we went to the Coke aisle and said, Coke is all you got? We want more. We get what we want. We built the McMansions, put fences around them, built pools and country clubs. We got what we want. Now it's getting pretty tough to sell them as China is collapsing and our society is collapsing around it. But I know the baby boomers want to live longer. I know that they have the money. So I am holding my biotech. But I have sold Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Advanced Micro Devices. Why? because China is collapsing, and it is going to bring our stock market down even further. I hear the word recession. I fringe at the possibility that word could start with a D. I'm not even going to say it. But if you're in the stock market and if you believe that the market is going to go up anytime soon, you need to read this book. You need to read The End of the World is Just the Beginning, Mapping the Collapse of Globalization. To put that in a short sentence, China is collapsing. And so will our stock market. We just can't continue to feed money into it and expect it to go up. I talked about Zim. Has that ever happened before? United States Steel, Sears Roebuck. Their assets became worth more than their stock value. It happens. It is the sign of decay. It is the canary in the coal mine. And I implore you, read, get Seeking Alpha and go find this article on the 80% dividend, okay? And then start connecting the dots. And it's not that complicated. It's just understanding what is about to happen. Now, is this the end of the world? No, not at all. It's a reset. I just hope the government doesn't print more money to put life back into it. But the reset, we will come out on the other side better, and it will be led by artificial intelligence, machine learning, quantum computing, and genome sequencing, genome editing, and a healthier, safer world. We are not safe where we are right now, and so I'm okay with it. I'll survive it. I know my short position in QQQ will continue to go up. I'm up 17% in 1 week. I know it will continue to go up. I just got to figure out when to bail. Okay? It's not as bad, but understand the canary in the coal mine. And if you want this far-reaching views, why do I talk about this? Why do I tell you where you can invest to make money, even though the market is going to crash? Because I'm 78 years old. I've got experience. I've been through this before. I've seen this ball game before. I've attended this movie. I know how it's going to end. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.